Interesting Things and Facts You May Not Have Known, Part 2. The Worst Surgery Outcome in Medical History. Robert Liston was a man who was born in 1874, and he became one of the best surgeons and also one of the fastest surgeons, if not the fastest surgeon ever. Well, at the time. Anyway, he became known for much more than being a fast surgeon, because during one of his surgeries, which he was amputating someone's limb, something strange happened, and it has not been replicated since then. This surgery of his resulted in a 300% mortality rate. That's 3 people dying as the result of one surgery. How did this happen? So, turns out, due to Robert Liston's speed and haste of amputating this leg, he accidentally sliced his assistant's fingers, which this unfortunately resulted in the assistant's death due to him dying of sepsis / an infection. So, who are the other 2 people that died? Well, unfortunately, the person whose limb he was amputating also died of sepsis / an infection. So who's the 3rd person to die during this surgery? Well, a bystander who happened to be viewing the surgery. Yes, viewing the surgery. Back then, you could have a surgery and people would be looking at it from a balcony, or sometimes people even walked right up to the surgery table to see what was going on. This guy, standing there looking at the surgery, was awed by the speed and haste in which Robert Liston finished the surgery, but the knife got way too close for comfort for this poor man, because Robert Liston just went and kinda almost stabbed this guy, but the knife didn't even touch him. But this was enough to send this poor dude into shock, and he died from shock. Basically, got frightened to death. 3 people, 1 surgery. Wow. Just wow. Ketchup's original purpose. Snake oil, a term quite synonymous with things that are fake and bad for you that don't actually work. Because back in the day, there weren't really very many laws in regards to what you could sell in pill or bottle form or liquid form. There were a lot of people and salesmen selling you things that quite frankly could be very detrimental to your health. That's why we're going to be talking about one of these potential snake oils, but we still use it today, just not as the intended purpose of what they wanted to sell it as back then. Back in the year 1830, ketchup, the condiment that so many people today use for things such as hot dogs and burgers and among other foods, ketchup back then was marketed as being a medicine that supposedly helped you out with things such as indigestion, diarrhea, and even supposedly helped you out with jaundice. Meanwhile, a man by the name of John Cook of Ohio State University began marketing ketchup in pill form, which he named tomato pills. And it was marketed as helping things or conditions such as jaundice, indigestion, and diarrhea. Very strange. I wonder if it even actually worked. That is why snake oil has become quite synonymous with being not real. Things that don't work. Things that are actually just a scam to get your hard-earned money. But at least we still have ketchup today to be used on our food. Everything happens for a reason, I suppose. Just kidding. The world is chaos. Women fighters in the Roman Colosseum. The Roman Colosseum, one of the world's most beautiful and fantastic structures of architecture ever built, besides the Pyramid of Giza. Roman Colosseum was finished in 80 AD, and it was used to showcase the most violent aspects of humanity. People were thrown against each other in massive battles of life and death. Some people were there to fight animals. Some people were there to drown. Some people were there to just die for the glory and entertainment of Caesar, and also for the citizens' straight up pleasure, I suppose. The people of today, with the modern sensibilities that we have, we probably look back at the Colosseum and the events that transpired within its walls as barbaric, cruel, horrible. And they're right. They are right about that. There would not be very much joy in seeing that done today. But there are many things that regard what happened in these walls that people probably don't know that much about. I'm sure you've heard of the fact that the ground can flood and boats are brought in to mimic naval combat. Very cool, very cool. But there are other things besides the classic men fighting lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Don't know about bears, actually. But there were a lot of things that people don't know about, such as, I didn't know this, there weren't just male gladiators. There were, in fact, female gladiators. They weren't called gladiators, they were actually called gladiatrixes. That's pretty damn badass, if I do say so myself. Gladiatrix? Sounds awesome. They were thrown in and they were expected to do the exact same things that their male counterparts were thrown in to do. Everybody was fighting to the death, or, teams were a thing. Everybody had to follow the rules, and they hopefully tried to do their best to survive. All for the sick and horrible bloody enjoyment of the Caesar and the people. Fun stuff. The Pyramid of Giza in Khufu's tomb isn't a tomb. The pyramids of Giza are among the world's most beautiful and mysterious structures of the ancient world. Many people and many archaeologists have all come to the conclusion that the pyramids of Giza are in fact ancient tombs of ancient pharaohs, the main pyramid being the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, allegedly. But there has been some contention recently as to what the real purpose of the pyramid actually is. We can compare the tomb of Khufu with the tombs of other ancient pharaohs that have been found, King Tutankhamun being a prime example. There's big differences between these tombs. Pharaoh Khufu has no hieroglyphics, and there was no treasure found, no artwork of any kind was found within the Pyramid of Giza. When we look at King Tut's tomb, there's beautiful hieroglyphics on the walls, there's artwork, there was treasure found. These are very massive differences. And King Tut's tomb is not the only tomb to be like this. There are other tombs of pharaohs that were found that have wonderful hieroglyphics and just stuff that you would imagine finding in the tomb of an ancient pharaoh. Now, archaeologists come to the conclusion and they argue that the reason why there's nothing found in the pyramids of Giza is due to grave robbers and tomb raiders. This is a sound argument, but when you think about the hieroglyphics, you can't take hieroglyphics off the walls. I mean, you can, but you would massively damage the walls in the process. And in the pyramids of Giza, there are no damaged walls to that extent. There's no signs of hieroglyphs previously being visible on these walls. The walls in the pyramids of Giza are straight up blank. The Pyramid of Giza, while beautiful, will still remain to be a mystery. Hello. And I suppose that's a good thing. Well, not a good thing, because there are parts of the pyramid that actually have not been excavated yet. LiDAR technology has found basically an empty mass of space in the more top part of the pyramid, and for some reason there are no plans whatsoever by the people that run the tourism and the archaeology of pyramids of Giza. There's no plans anytime soon to excavate any of it, and that is very sad. Not a fan of that choice, but Up to them, I suppose. The shortest war in the history of recorded time. War. War never changes. Is mostly true, but when it comes to war, these things usually last a very long time and are usually absolutely catastrophic to the people and citizenry of the nations that partake in said war. But in 1896, August 27th, the world was introduced to one of, if not the shortest wars in all of human history. In fact, no, this is actually the shortest war in all of human history. Britain versus Zanzibar, the Anglo-Zanzibar War. This lasted a whopping 38 minutes long. This was a war waged over what appears to be the Sultan ascendancy in Zanzibar. 38 minutes long. I'm sure you can guess who won and who took the victory home. It was Zanzibar. No, I'm kidding. It was Britain. Britain took the victory, of course. Anyway, 38-minute long war. That's absolutely mind-boggling to me. Who knew things could be resolved so quickly? I guess it would be nice if most wars were waged that way and resolved that quickly. But you know what else would be great is if no war was waged at all. But, you know, who am I to say? I'm just some YouTuber. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. This was a fun one to make. I love facts that are interesting, and hopefully these are a few things you didn't know as well. But either way, take care, and you have a good one.